Who is the best quarterback alive today? I'm not talking about historically. I'm just talking about this season. If you had, for this season, if you had to choose one quarterback, who would it be? Now, obviously, I think the quick answer here is Tom Brady. So let's just exclude him from the discussion because Tom Brady continues to defy all odds at the age of now 45, coming off a 5,300-yard passing season, 43 touchdowns. Well, like Tom Brady's the GOAT, and I think him aside, who would you want? If you had one person to lead your team for the entirety of the 2022 season, who would it be? It's not thinking about who's going to be the best for the next 10 to 15 years. Who is the best right now? Well, really, what makes somebody great? I think there's several attributes. You got to be dependable. You've got to be a high level passer. You got to be a leader. And at the end of the day, who would I want on my team for this year that will give me, my team, the best chance to win the Super Bowl? Look, there's been a lot of names thrown around recently. Aaron Rodgers, the what I think is a four-time MVP at this point, coming off an incredible season last year. He's got to be in the discussion. Josh Allen, after what he did last year, he's been remarkable, and it looks like his meter just going up and up and up. Joe Burrow off of that amazing Super Bowl run with hardly any offensive line. Yeah, that guy's probably up there too. But I think what's lost in a lot of this, and the guy that's been kind of overlooked, is Patrick Mahomes. I mean, lest we forget, a couple years ago, Patrick Mahomes was the shining star of the NFL. And now, if you ask people who would they most want to have or who do they think is their preseason MVP, you're going to hear several names thrown out before Mahomes. And what are we thinking, guys? Yeah, Josh Allen was great last year, but did you know that the most touchdown passes Allen's ever thrown in his career is 37? Mahomes in a down year last year still threw 37. I think it's one of those things that when you've seen a guy be consistently great for such a long period of time, it can make it tough to appreciate their greatness. I mean, if you go back to LeBron, he arguably could have won the MVP for any number of years, probably 6 years in a row, and there was this kind of voter fatigue, and there's always somebody else that was voted over him after those initial couple with the Heat. LeBron could have won MVP, but he didn't. And I think it's a very similar case with Mahomes, as we've seen how great this guy is. He's transcendent. He does things on the football field that we just haven't seen before. And because of that, you kind of take it for granted. He's great, but he's supposed to be great. And when he doesn't put up 50 passing touchdown seasons like he did last year, when he only puts up 37 like he did last year, only throws for 4,800 yards, good for fourth in the league instead of first. Yeah, it's a down year. But doesn't that say something about the player when a down year is 4,800 yards and 37 touchdowns? That's insane. Let me give you some other stats about Patrick Mahomes. He's been a starting quarterback in the league for, I believe, 4 years now, and his career record is 50 and 13. 50 and 13. He's lost 13 total games in 4 years as a starting quarterback. Including his entire 5 year career, that accounts for a 79% win percentage. That means by having Patrick Mahomes on your team, you're going to win 79% of the time in the NFL that's full of parity. That's incredible. He threw 50 touchdowns in a season before he even admitted that he didn't know how to read the defense fully yet. And even better, it's important that your quarterback plays best when the lights are shining brightest. In his playoff career, he's a ridiculous 8-3. Now, yes, I know Brady's got probably about 30 playoff wins at this point, something astronomical. What, seven, seven Super Bowls at this point for Brady? Look, he's not Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's on such another echelon that comparing anybody to Brady is just an insult to Tom at this point. Tom's the GOAT. He probably will be for the rest of my lifetime, unless something crazy happens. But 7 Super Bowls, that's not going to be touched. But for a 26-year-old to have already won the MVP, to be a Super Bowl MVP, to have thrown 50 touchdowns in a single season, and to have a 79% win percentage through his first 4 years as a full-time starting quarterback. That is incredible. Now, you can make the argument, hey, Aaron Rodgers, he's the reigning MVP. He's been incredible the last few years with Matt LaFleur. Yeah, he's been great. But if I want one guy to win this season, is Aaron Rodgers the guy I'm going to take? I don't know. I mean, if you look at it, his career playoff record is 11-10. So that means outside of his Super Bowl season when they won the 4 games, he's 7-10. And you know that Super Bowl run was back in 2011. And oh yeah, by the way, last year against the 49 wild card 49ers team puts up what, 10 points and loses against an offense that wasn't putting up any points at all. That 49ers offense looked anemic. Now, granted, 49ers had a great defense, don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on, for an MVP to put up those stats in that big of a game, what's happening? And you go to the flip side in the AFC divisional round, you had Patrick Mahomes facing off against the Buffalo Bills, who were the number one defense in all of the NFL for the 2021 season. And what happened? Well, he puts up 40 plus points, absolutely duels Josh Allen. And look, while that Chiefs defense improved down the stretch, they could not have been mistaken for that Bills defense. You would have taken that Bills defense 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100 over the Chiefs. And yet, when the light was shining brightest in a duel against the guy who's supposedly taking his throne, what does Mahomes do? He pulls off the impossible, the incredible. His team down 3 with 13 seconds left somehow leads him in 2 plays right down the field, gets him in field goal range. Kick a field goal, go to overtime, and, well, we all know what happened then. Yes, yes, I know. Josh Allen didn't get the ball. NFL rules will be NFL rules. And Mahomes won the shootout, a head-to-head battle with the guy who's supposedly taking his throne. I mean, come on. Light shining brightest, he came through. And yeah, I know he had a rough game against the Bengals the following week. Something happened at the halftime after that blunder on the throw to Tyreek Hill, where Tyreek Hill doesn't score heading into halftime. They get no points out of that drive. I don't know what happened. I'm going to be honest. It was one of the most mind-boggling things I've seen. Mahomes was perfect basically through his first 10 playoff games. In his 11th, he fell apart a little bit. But look, that happens for everybody. I mean, I remember back in, what was it, 2016, 2015, when Tom Brady faced off against the Broncos, and oh, like that defense had its way with him. He kind of fell apart. And no, that Bengals defense wasn't that Broncos defense from the 2015, 2016 season. But the point is every great player can have a bad game. And Mahomes clearly had a bad game. But an 8-3 playoff record shows that he's been great more often than not. And look, I know he's had Andy Reid his whole way. And Andy Reid's an incredible coach. But Brady had Belichick. And look, definitely helps. And it's a big part of why Mahomes is as great as he's been. But at some point, you got to give credit to the player. 8-3, 50-13 in the regular season, 50 touchdowns, a Super Bowl MVP, a regular season MVP. That's special. And at only 26 years old, isn't he the guy you want running your team? I mean, heck, I would take him for this season. Probably take him for the next 5, next 10. And yeah, I know he's going to be tested. Tyreek Hill's gone. Travis Kelce's aging. They're throwing in a bunch of unknown wide receivers. Juju, I mean, had a couple good seasons a few years ago when Roethlisberger was a little bit younger and a little bit better. But like, my money's on Mahomes. He's figured it out before. And this guy has shown every step of the way that he's special. When the lights shine brightest, he's there. So yeah, you can have Josh Allen, you can have Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, any of those guys. But give me that guy that plays for Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes. One season. Who do I want leading my team? Patty Mahomes all the way.